We're back. Season 3 of Asphalt and Apps. Apps and Asphalt, excuse me. We got to make that official.
Yes.
But we just had a session with the estimators and just were telling stories and crack it up.
Gosh, dude.
I think that's a good idea, though. Like what they said is bring in, just have a couple of sessions of just dropping funny stories from the field and like experience. Because,
dude, this industry has the craziest stories. The craziest.
It really does.
You start talking about it, you're like, oh my gosh.
It's how and everyone's got it from such different lenses because some guys have been in the field, some have been outside, merging with the field. I mean, and then your day-to-day customer run-in, like, oh my gosh, we have just stories on those, dude.
It's wild. Yeah, I know. And then, like I was saying too, I remember stuff driving along with my dad and like the stuff that you would see or hear from like the early 90s, bro, when HR wasn't a thing. Like, you're just like, I don't even know if I can repeat that.
Yeah. Thank God it was a little tougher times back then because now none of that shit would fly. Yeah.
The politically incorrect.
Yeah.
Wasn't even
that wasn't even a term back then, man. So, yeah, anyways, this is episode 3. This is your first time in the new studio, so to speak.
Dude. I like it.
It feels cool. It feels legit. We got a cigar holder here that does nothing, but it's a good prop,
Absolutely.
Threw a couple greenery shrubs up, and it's feeling more and more legit, but, I mean, it's definitely uncomfortable. I'm glad we're doing this, but I don't know. It's cool to set up all the wires and cords, and thank God we got David to help us out, man. Otherwise,
you guys are killing this.
Hey, we got to go all in.
All in.
So, one of the topics that we're going to talk about today is the off season.
The on season.
The on season is, the on we season. Call it.
Yep. A lot of people take this time in our sector of construction to just take a deep breath. Holy smokes, like we finally made it. Snow's coming down. Actually, today's the first day of snow.
Yeah, we actually got that.
People are like, finally, things get to slow down a little bit. The one thing that we've got is we've always kind of turned it up this time of year, man. This is where the hard work goes in, the planning, the forecasting, the budgeting.
Yep.
All of the back end stuff, kind of like what we were talking about with the apps earlier, is like the back end work.
100%. This is the time, like an off season, that we work on the business.
Yep.
Not in it. I mean, don't get me wrong, dude. We're still spending time. Our estimators are still prepping, and big service that we offer is budget planning for our customers. So we're really focusing on that this time of year in order to build that backlog for next year. But, so many companies in the paving space, but I can probably put money down that really any exterior contractor in a climate like ours in Colorado, where they have an off and an on season, does the same shit, where they just let off the gas, go take their family vacations and chill out and just wait for things to come up when it comes up. Yeah, when it comes up. Yeah.
Yep, and that's part of it. We've done a good job over the years, I think, hitting it instead of waiting for it to come hit us. We're attacking with the clients, talking about budgets. It's a good time to refine processes. So if you're integrating new applications, spot on site, to your companies, now's a good time to do it because, everyone's like, let's start beginning of the year. No. Just like we had talked about yesterday when we're talking about our 2023 goals, they start now. Why wait till 2023? Start them now, get a leg forward, and start running with stuff.
Yeah, and yesterday was perfect for that, man. I mean, we got little context as you signed up for Ben Newman's coaching. How long ago?
It's been a few months now.
Okay.
Been a few months.
Yeah, and I mean, I know you've seen it. You get tremendous value out of it. We met him in person at another kind of mastermind event last year. Just an awesome guy. But his whole point was you do 2023 planning in October.
Yep.
Which is kind of a weird concept because for us, we're like, this is probably our busiest time, just getting things closed out, trying to fit as much more work as we can before the snow flies. And
Yep.
but it was a good time to take a pause from the day-to-day stuff and start thinking in the future of what we got going on, and took it a layer deeper to where it was more personal for our employees of like, hey, what are your goals? Not like company's goals. What are your personal goals?
Yep.
And how are you going to achieve that or start planning to achieve that going into next year? So I think it was really valuable from our superintendents to the accounting ladies to our sales guys to operations. Everyone's got their own personal goals, but the reason why they come to work and what they work for is a lot different.
Yep.
It's not just money.
I agree. And, like, the personal goals are really important for me, too, because hearing their personal goals, they become personal goals of ours.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's interesting that he brought up, like, the 2023 planning when he did. I've always used this time of year to go back through and look at our budgets. And it's not necessarily goal setting, but a lot of what we were talking about yesterday was going back into your professional goals, which kind of lead into like what we've done in the past. So what are we doing next year? How does it look like? What budgets are we moving around? What does that do for us personally? So to bring everybody else's stuff into it is it becomes personal for us to how do we get everybody to hit their goals?
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a monetary thing. It can be, but if it's losing weight, if it's whatever, I want to make sure that we have an environment that promotes people to want to be better and cross things off the list.
Absolutely. And it's a lot of people talk about that, but we actually have been trying to live that. And we haven't always done it. I'll be honest. Yeah, it is hard. It's
freaking hard, man.
It's slowing down the day-to-day stuff and figuring out, going more in on your employees. And I think you're going to sit down with everybody and work kind of backwards with them on their goals. And as a team, we're going to come together and bring a couple personal goals, a couple professional goals for everyone to present if they feel comfortable enough. But
bring some accountability to the table for everybody too. Which,
when you speak it out in public of what you want to accomplish, that's a whole nother thing than writing it down.
Yep.
It's out in the public, and whatever they say is you're not like manifesting it.
Yes.
But you're
putting it into the universe.
In the universe, yeah.
You're speaking it into existence.
Yeah. See, all these terms are coming back.
You're
the good. Ones that you hear on all these motivational podcasts.
Yep.
And shit
exactly.
Exactly.
So
it's a lot different when you put it out, and especially around a team that you actually care about. And so
for sure,
I'm excited to see where that happens. But what are some things like for you as the owner of the company that you're focused on this time of year in this off season? Is there stuff that's different? I'm guessing.
Yeah,
because I really don't know your
this is usually when I put in like the most work, and it's brain work, man. It's looking at budgets. There's a lot of stuff that's going on. Like we're looking at different insurances right now. Insurance policies this is a good time for us to renew. If we're going to switch carriers, this is a time for us to do it. Workers' comp. If we're able to save some points off overhead, now's the time to look at where those are. This is my time to really like tweak the dials for us.
Yeah.
We don't have time to do it in the springtime. There's just no time.
No.
It's everyone's full force all over again. And so that's really what I'm looking at right now is, what are we shifting into? The NPP app and software that we're building, that's going to take a lot of time up here this off season too.
A lot of testing.
Tons, man. Yeah. Tons. But it's exciting stuff, man.
It is. It's fun to see that. See, I'm in a different position because for those of you guys who don't know, I'm still kind of involved with MPP, but 95 to 99% of my time is running spot on site. So when you're in a startup business, all you're thinking about in the first year or two is revenue, sales. I built out processes, email automations, triggers. So, but for me is when our busy sales time is going to happen because contractors are slowing down because property managers are working on budgets. Property management companies are working on budgets.
Yep.
People are looking now to implement stuff going into next year. So that's what's a little bit different for me. But for our estimators, it really never stops for them. Our sales guys are just still trying to sell. They're again the budgets and stuff that they're working on. So
Yep, they're rolling.
That's what's helped us and set us apart and set MPP apart
For sure.
in the past is we don't necessarily grow during the on season, but we grow more during the off season, which has allowed us to double revenue or double profit margin just by the tweaks that we've made. So
Yep. If you're gonna, like we're doing, shifting some stuff around with SEO, looking at, changing some things around. How do we make sure our email campaigns are getting to where they're supposed to be?
yep.
Get in front of the right customers. So, this next year is gonna be fun, bro.
I'm excited.
Excited for
Yeah.
it. I'm so excited for it. What's great about it is we've got so many people that have leveled up so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Now we've got just a C that's like, if we were sitting at a 6 last year, we're sitting at like going into an 8. And how do we get our guys closer to like a 9 into by the time springtime hits?
Yep. Yep, exactly. That's awesome. I like the way you put that. Not to mention, we got the new office in, which is, we're in one of the conference rooms. We're going to do a little bit of remodeling coming up. But the biggest thing that's been nice is going into the new place with almost a fresh lens. You know what
Yes,
I mean?
for sure.
I mean, when I started, bro, I remember driving for the interview and we were in some house.
And I would never let any of the customers know it was a house. I always had like a remote office location
Right.
that I would use and have everything forwarded, which I can talk about now. But at the time, dude, like we had a big old plot of land and a house that we were operating off of,
Inside of a small HOA that, had,
Yep.
So we'd be running, loads of, our trucks down the dirt road, equipment, dump loads of concrete if the guys got in all late, waking up the neighbors. And to now, to the next building, which was nice for us, it still had a nice yard. It was actually like a legit office, but had its, own challenges. We got broken into a couple times, had mice, and the thing when it would snow would flood in the whole front conference room.
We probably would be getting flooded right now.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It probably is right now.
We wouldn't even
if we
be
go
doing
back
this.
there.
Yeah.
Till, here now everyone's got their own office. We got much more space. It's all clean and new, and it just feels fresh, dude. So I'm excited to see what this place can cultivate our team to do. Because I can tell you, I feel better mentally, and my focus has been a lot better just changing the scenery by coming in here.
That's awesome.
It's crazy how much that comes into play, but I know it can help everyone else.
One of the things that we need to talk about too is with contractors, and particularly us even, I want to talk with operations and production because, sorry not to shift gears here, but
Good.
the teams out in the field right now, they're busting ass. They're going 100 miles an hour, and there's no discrepancy. They're some of the hardest workers around. I'm trying to reframe some stuff for those guys going into this next year. Instead of working harder, let's work smarter, right?
Yeah.
These guys, I want to go back through a bunch of projects that we had this year and figure out, okay, let's take these 10 projects and let's grade them. So on these projects for our paving crew, our seal coat crew, whatever, did we have any go backs? How do we leave the project? Not just how did it look, but how did we leave it? Was there cleanup issues? Did we hit something along the way, like a gutter that we had to go back and replace?
Mm-hmm.
X, Y, or Z. You grade them, all right, cool. We out of these 10, we had 3 or 4 go backs. To me, that's a C. That's a C. Like that's 70%.
Automatically off the top.
Right off the bat before anything else.
Yeah.
How do we eliminate those things moving forward? So they're thinking from the same lens that we're thinking of. Like, yeah, we worked hard. We got all this stuff done. Great. But we had this, this, and this, and this. Okay, that's 50% is an F. It's failing in school.
Yeah.
So, and not to like rain on anyone's parade, but like we need to raise the standard and continue to raise the standard from like the ground up. And for us, it's the lowest labor on the totem pole, and it's the ripple effect all the way up to the top. And so we need to continue to carve on that with the guys on the off season. That's something that I want to keep working on with these guys and letting them know.
The big thing is the inefficiencies is what we're carving on.
Yep.
Last year we had so much money in stupid go bags that was spent and wasted.
Yep.
From attention to detail to overspraying to just whatever the situation was, controllables that we didn't put enough effort and focus and attention on, that costs us hundreds of thousands of dollars.
For sure. And now that we've got like the profit sharing model going on all the way down through the crew, they'll see, like, we can go back through and explain, like, you guys get X amount of this gross profit margin.
Yep.
And every time we go back, okay, yeah, we had a low spot over here. We'll just send the infrared. Well, guess what? When you go send the infrared, it's going to cost this amount of money, and it goes against your bonus at the end of the year.
It's like ice chip in a glacier, man.
Exactly.
It's small, it's kind of insignificant, the little things, but it adds up.
It adds up.
And so they'll see it, and that's what's been beneficial with us running the kind of more transparent model of, being realistic with or being open with the numbers and stuff like that. These guys are seeing, like, it's not the business has, unlimited amount of money. It's not money grows on trees. It's like, no, we earn the money and we either make it or we lose it based on how we perform it.
For sure.
So,
For sure.
Yeah, I think that'll be good to go back with them. And we've seen, so much of an improvement, but we can still, there's always room for it. Always room for
just
growth.
like you and I were talking about, we're like, our hardest critics are ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so even if we're at 90%, how do we get to 100?
Yep.
And if you never get to 100, that's fine, but like the little increments along the way still add up.
Yeah, you got to still be chasing that for sure.
For sure.
So, yeah, it's I want to bring this up because it's off seasons. Like, our guys are tired, our estimators are tired, they're burnt out, but we never really let anyone slow down, and that's become a kind of a standard in our company, is to expect that, like, to keep pushing.
Yeah.
And we've seen the results of everybody continually pushing year round. And really, it's just like a mindset thing, in my opinion. It's like you set up an expectation to, like, want to take a break whenever so I'm going to bust my ass through November, then I'll be able to relax. We have our time off. We give our guys time off. Like, we have the holidays. We do, generous amount of days off. But, like, create the expectation that just because work slows down, we don't slow down.
Yep.
And so that's going to make a big difference for other companies if they can help start setting that bar, but doing it in a strategic way to where you get the buy-in still from everybody.
Yep. Absolutely, man.
It's kind of why we stopped doing snow removal, is because we wanted to do it. Great money in doing snow removal, but we couldn't get our guys to buy in on it.
Right. And when you've got that, there's no passion behind it.
Yeah.
Which equals subpar service. And if we're not going to be the best at it, there's no point in us chasing it.
Yeah.
I don't really want to be a part of anything that is less than like the best.
Yep.
What we can provide and give. And we're not always going to hit home runs. We're not always going to be the best, but if we're not, we're going to try to make it right. We'll try to chase that,
Yeah.
get there.
One thing, what would you say has been our biggest company win this season?
This season, our biggest company win this season is, I would say, job cost. Dude, our job cost has gotten, it's like wiping the fog off the mirror, man.
Yeah.
You can see so much more from it, and then being able to tell the story back over to the guys. So if you're not doing job costs, if you guys don't understand your cost of doing business, that is like the most important piece.
Yep.
Most important piece. And there's always room to get better on that, I feel like.
And it's looking at the good, the bad, and the ugly and being totally transparent with it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I think there's I forgot what it's called, but there's something to where, like after somebody goes and blows a ton of money in Vegas, they're scared to check their bank account,
Yep.
see how much they spent when
Yes.
they've been drinking a lot.
Yep.
That's kind of like avoiding job costing is in a different, more personal
100%.
context. It's like you don't want, like you probably made some money, but you lost some money, you lost some margin, but you don't want to know how much.
Yep.
But you gotta have to actually look at it. I mean, even with like Spot on Site today, we got a financial report meeting that we're coming up, and
Yep.
we're doing good, but just still the investment that we've been dumping
Oh,
into this is going to be a little frightening to see
Absolutely.
reality what it is.
Absolutely. And that's the truth in all of it, right?
Yeah.
If you don't want to look at that type of stuff, then you're gonna be kind of chasing your tail around
Yeah,
for some time.
I mean, I've done that before. I've gone to the bars and came back and woke up all hungover, and you have that instant like guilt and regret. And
Never done that.
nothing,
before.
never
No,
done that.
I
Yeah,
don't think so.
Zach doesn't like the party.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But you
Yes,
wake
you're
up
exactly right, man.
You open up the Wells Fargo app and you're like, I don't know what it's gonna say.
Heavy weekend of fun and travel and some shopping. I don't really want to see what that looked like.
It takes its toll.
It
dude.
does. It does.
But bottom line, bite the bullet and look
Yep.
at it, and I mean, you'll actually know where you stand, and that allows you to make better decisions going into the next year.
Budget better, everything. Yep, for sure. What would you say your the biggest win has been for you, Spot on Site, and then kind of like overall this year?
Good question. I haven't thought about that for myself. I would say, so it was hard for me at the beginning of the year. Remember, we had that meeting. Your old business coach, Mike Claudio, came out.
Yeah.
And how we decided to kind of, I don't know, quote unquote, part ways, or was he pretty much told me, like, hey, dude, you need to just like, you need to run this. Zach, you need to run MPP because that's your baby. Like, Hayden, use this as your new opportunity. And so I thought about it that night, but it was something I knew that needed to happen, and it was crystal clear when he said that. So for me, one of the big wins started early on was making that decision. But number two, I would say reflecting back on my growth in learning the software, the SaaS business has been awesome to see. Like, and all it takes is you can run whatever the fuck business you want. Like, now you have resources out there for Google, YouTube, books. Bro, I tell you all the time, I literally go in, work on the business, and then at home, I'm watching YouTube videos, reading Google articles, reading books. A lot of the content that I bring up, like in our meetings for the changes that we need to make, are from books.
Yep.
Stuff like,
Dude, you have been in college this year. I'm not even
literally, yeah.
I'm not even kidding you. Like, it's been crazy to watch like you level up because it's been insane, and I know you're putting in the time after hours. Like you are just carving on that every single day, man, and
Appreciate
you
it.
can tell it's been awesome. It's been
Appreciate
awesome
it.
to watch.
So that's been, I would say, personally, that's been my biggest win for the year, was just seeing the growth of figuring this business out, because it's not a necessity-based business like contracting is.
Yeah.
Which was a nice smack in the face. When we launched that thing, we were like, bro, we're going to be sipping pina coladas. This is going to be a no-brainer for everybody. And here we are, like, dragging, clawing, starting podcasts, anything to get the word out.
Yeah.
And it's coming in, but it's brick by brick, not like, overloads
like a flood
we thought it was.
Yeah.
But we talk about that at the same time too. Like, thank God, because technology and building an app, there's so much,
so many variables that you don't even realize.
Variables and testing. Like,
Yep.
we've had problems where the app just goes out, or people are losing projects and stuff for like no reason.
Yeah.
And we can't control it. I mean, we get our development team on it, and they take care of the issue. But it's like there's a lot of uncontrollables with technology, because shit just happens. So learning to navigate through that with customer demands, and realizing that, just because you have a good idea doesn't mean everybody's going to buy it, has been the biggest eye-opener this year.
Yep.
But then again, we also, I think as a team, Logan's our CTO, we've found a new avenue and niche for the three of us, kind of as a duo, to go into the construction tech space.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
It's exciting.
Now we've got opportunity to serve so many different ideas and aspects, because across construction, there's so many different things that need to be like taken care of still.
Yep.
And people have great ideas. I think us being able to partner with people along the way and build some stuff out is going to be the funnest piece, dude. To like recreate. Asphalt's always going to be fun. Concrete's always going to be great. But to like be a pillar in the forefront of that specific piece of our industry is like what I really am looking forward to becoming,
Yeah. The go-to guys, hopefully. And, we're doing it because we see the problems and how much money people are losing and wasting every year. So if we're doing it, we know other businesses are having similar issues. So we're talking about, we talked about episode 1, raising the standard.
Yep.
And then, when we brought Logan in for the first time, he doesn't know any of our equipment. Like, we had to do a full walkthrough of it. You showed him what an infrared truck was, showed him what a seal coat tank looked like, very basics. But then when we took him to the office, like Shantae's office or our operations office, that was when we were doing more paper stuff. He's like, what's all this? I'm like, paper, receipts, purchase orders, you name it, work orders. So we see the gap in the amount of paper that we can eliminate and making things more digital, and lowers the chances of us, losing precious documentation like the last load ticket or whatever it is.
Yep. For sure. For sure. Yeah. This is a good time of the year for everyone to kind of refocus and just bring some clarity into what you're taking into the new year now instead of waiting. We don't have to wait for 2023 to start. We don't have to wait for New Year to come. Start today. Every day is a new day, and you have the opportunity to make choices, be conscious of them, and I think even for me, it's a good reminder.
Absolutely. Yep. I love it. That's a good way to end it. Start now. Don't wait. The off season is really the on season.
Yes.
Don't let off the gas.
Yes.
We'll wrap that up for episode 3 for apps and asphalt.
All right.
And probably do another one next week. I think, if we do weekly, bi-weekly, just quick. We can even do like quick 20 minutes.
We're bringing Nick on next week.
Yeah, we can probably do Nick. Yeah.
He's a riot.
Yeah, he is a riot.
Might have to edit the shit out of it.
Yeah. Maybe some. We'll have to go back. Don't bring the HR department for
No HR department, but that'll be fun.
Yeah, we'll bring them in. So I'm excited for that.
Yes.
Thank you guys for all 5 of you that probably be watching this, but hopefully it's 500 here soon. So
Yeah, absolutely.
all right,
All right.
thanks.